Hello, my name is Pablo Pescador. I'm with DLC Resources. We are your landscape management provider partner, and I help run the day-to-day operations. And with me is Francisco Olmos. He is the foreman, the on-site foreman out here, and we're gonna talk about agaves and how to properly cut it down and safely cut it down and dispose of it properly as well. With the agaves, if for those that have these in your backyards, you'll notice that they start off as like a regular agave, and then they sit there for a few years, and then it pushes out a stalk. But once the stalk comes out, it's near its end of its life. That's why I call it a century plant. So you let it stalk out, it leaves out, and it pushes out flowers, and eventually turns in, it dies off similar to this here. And it can grow anywhere between 5 feet to 20 feet. It just really depends on the agave. A lot of these agaves don't need a lot of water to survive. Quite honestly, pretty much with rainwater, it's a desert plant, so they should be. It'll be fine. It'll live fine, and honestly, the more water it gets, sometimes the shorter lifespan. So to properly cut the agave stalk, you want to make sure you have proper PPE, what we call PPE, personal protective equipment. You want to have gloves similar to what Francisco's wearing, either leather gloves, cloth gloves, whatever you can pick up at your local gardening stores. Should be fine. You can wear glasses as well, just to help preventing anything getting in your eye. You never know, cutting those stalks, sometimes it pushes out a little of that like dust or just clippings of it. You want to make sure you have a handsaw similar to what we have. And again, you can pick those up at any of your local gardening stores, your choice. And when you do cut, you want to cut at a 45-degree angle. You're going to want to cut it leaning away towards, basically where you want the cuts on the side to be is where leaning away from, whether it be your home, your neighbor's home, a view fence. If you're dealing with a stalk like this, you're gonna want help. Kind of guiding that stalk as it starts to fall. You make a cut, and Francisco here will demonstrate here shortly, but you want to make a cut so where that it does bend, it falls away, like I said, away from any property, just to watch your property or your neighbor's property. If you're doing it by yourself, you can always tie it down, strap it down, and again, as long as you're cutting away, you should be fine. There are times, if you want to have a second person involved because you want to maybe take care of your landscape surrounding it, rather it be ground cover shrubs or shrubs in general. But if it falls on top, it quite honestly will not really harm the plant. It's a heavy stalk, but it's not going to crush it or kill it. So, so we're going to go ahead and get started, and we'll kind of walk you through that. And with the whole social distancing right now, we are going to try to keep our distance. Francisco's got his mask on, and we'll kind of walk you through the steps. So like I said, he wants to cut it about as low as you can go on it, 45-degree angle. And you want to hang on to it with your other hand so you kind of support it and it doesn't just come crashing down. You see where he made that cut, he's gonna snap it off. That's what you want to do. And you want to lay it on the ground like so, and he'll finish the rest of that cut. So once you recut it, you want to let it, and now it's easier to cut it into pieces, and Francisco will cut it into pieces, demonstrate how to go about that. So once it's on the ground, like I said, it's easier to cut now, and cut up into pieces so it's easier to dispose. And for disposal, you can either put it in your trash can. I know a lot of cities and communities offer, trash companies offer bulk trash. That's also a possibility, but you're not really dealing with a lot of trash. You can cut it up into small pieces as you want, stick it in your trash can. As far as the agave goes, that's the disposal of the stalk. The stalk is pretty much done. So the agave, you can leave it. It's all personal preference, quite honestly. It will still survive anywhere between 3 months to, let's say, a year. Some will die quicker. This one here, you could tell it's already pretty much dying. You might want to get rid of it, but again, it's all personal preference. You can either leave it for yourself, or I mean, leave it for a little while. Leave it to if you want to remove it when it totally dies off, or you could just remove it at the time of removing the stalk. So again, it's personal preference. A lot of times these produce little pups. What we call pups is baby agaves. So when you do remove it, you'll have a couple agaves laying around, and they just basically feed off of it from the seedlings, and as the agave was maturing, it was producing babies. So with that, you can always leave those, and you'll have a brand new plant. Basically, you start all over again with a brand new agave without really not costing you much, or anything for that matter. We want to thank you for joining, for watching. If there's any more information that you want, or you may want to read about, I'm sorry. We also want to thank the community management for letting us partner with them and letting us be a part of this and showing this video to you guys. Again, if there's any more information or anything that you might want to learn about, whether it be landscape or water or anything related to that, we do have information in our DLC resources website. If you just go to the Learning Center, and we'll have all kinds of information there. So feel free to reach out to your community management as well. We can always answer questions that way. So thank you.